Hey everyone, Pushing Up Roses here and welcome back to my art channel. So today I wanted to experiment a little bit more with my DecoArt ready to pour paints. I really like these paints. They're not my go-to all the time. A lot of the time I will just mix Liquitex Basics and Floetrol or use another medium, but I have really enjoyed using the premixed paints. Sometimes I just don't want cells, and the lines and shapes you can get from these paints and the amount of stretching you can do is just really good. So one of the problems I do have with these paints is that they don't offer a lot of vibrant purples or pinks, but they do have these amazing blue colors. As you can see right there, that's true blue. It's one of my favorite colors of all time. So I do a lot of jiggle pours with these paints, and I wanted to do one on a round canvas. And as you can see by the area around and below this canvas, I messed up quite a lot. And so we're just gonna do it again. Although to be fair, I was just using Liquitex and Floetrol, and that's what you see on the mat below. I just had a mess of a time. So I decided to just try my tried and true DecoArt ready to pour mixed paints. They are a little bit more expensive, but I do like them because of the result that they get. And I know that, at least for me with my shop and with my clients, they really like these. So I know that a lot of the times I will sell the piece, especially if I'm doing the DecoArt premixed. So I'm looking back at what I'm doing here, and I'm realizing that I am using way too many dark colors, and my white got totally lost. For some reason, I thought that I was using more white than I was, and so this first take, what am I even doing? Just throwing garbage everywhere. That's how chaotic this got, you guys. So look at this. That's like nothing. Girl, if you're gonna use that many dark colors and rich colors, you gotta use more white. You need contrast. I thought I was using more white. I clearly was not. The colors will be in the description below, and so will most of the sequence, though I am going pretty slow, so you could probably figure out the sequence if you wanted. But I started with navy, which is a dark color. I wanted to do my Cave of Wonders jiggle pours, which I start with a dark color right at the bottom because that's the last thing to come out, and it's going to come out in the center to create like a cave. It creates a lot of negative space. I don't think I even look at that amount of white. What am I thinking? That's like nothing. Anyway, sorry, tangent. Oh man, past self, what are you doing? So I use a little bit of a darker color in the middle. I started with navy. I didn't use enough for that negative space, but that's normally what I would do. And then I went into white, followed by blue violet, red, true blue, deep turquoise, and then white again. And these are all fantastic colors, but because I didn't use enough white, because they are so deep, it just turned out dark and strange, and I'm not sure if the jiggle pour was great for this round canvas. But I'm going to let you guys watch the pour and watch the tilt. And as you can see, I did this from top down so you could see just exactly what I'm doing. I'm not actually going in a circle. I am just jiggling up and down. And now I'm realizing I am going way too fast with the jiggle.
Must go faster.
I wanted to go slow and fast at the same time. I wanted the paint to come out slowly, but I wanted my jiggles to be insane and quick, and I think that was part of the problem, because when you're going that quick, you're creating more lines, and it's just a line explosion. Like everything is rings. Everything is rings. Before I start tilting, I decided that I didn't have enough paint to cover this canvas. At least that is how I thought. I'm under the assumption that I did not have enough paint. So I'm hitting it up with that red. Like I said, they only have one shade of red, but it's really vibrant. It's a really nice red. You know, no complaints about that. And looking back before I tilt, I really like that bottom left corner. I really like where the feathers meet, and it kind of creates this little path downward. But you can probably tell, even just looking at the pour, how tight and detailed the rings really are. That is tight. you guys. And I'm also going to do a little design. Looking back, I don't think this was a good idea. I wanted to do my feathers. I love them. And I don't think it was a good idea for the round canvas, and you'll see why. I still don't think I have enough paint, so I'm going to hit that up with blue violet. And then around the edges, I'm going to use my butt ugly color, coral. Don't know why I bought it. Terrible color. Hate coral. You know how when you discover a new brand of paint or anything that has a lot of colors or things in a series, and you just have to have all of them without regard of whether you like the specific things in them? That was me. I found this new paint, I really liked it, and I had to have every single color, even though it's coral. I hate that color, it's terrible. But good news is I'm going to be using it as a flow extender. I don't want to waste any paint. The paint is pricey, and I don't want to waste it, so I'm going to put it to good use. I'm going to put the butt ugly coral as a flow extender, and that will help the paint stretch more, and it'll just make sure that you actually can cover your canvas, because it's better to have a little more paint than not enough paint, because you can run into problems if you're trying to stretch, you know, a small amount of paint. So looking back at the tilt, I can tell I'm not used to tilting this on a round canvas at all. Normally I would love this design, and I do. There's some great feathered effects in this design, although my red got a little lost and my white kind of stayed on the on that path section that's on the left right now, or on the right. I don't know which one, because I have this flipped. I believe it would be on the right for you guys. So yeah, I don't know. I just don't think this particular composition and technique works for the round. And maybe if I did have more white and more red and more contrasting colors and you could see the feathers, maybe if I jiggled a little less erratically, maybe I would have liked it a little bit more. That negative space, it wasn't nearly enough. You kind of see that navy on top of the heart shape, and it was not nearly enough. So I didn't even really get the negative space that I wanted. I didn't really get the cave that I wanted, though this was a great learning experience in using the round canvas. When the proportions are right, these colors look so sick together. They look gorgeous with those pops of red, the turquoise, the white that's non-existent in this particular painting, and the true blue. Beautiful color. I highly recommend using those blue colors from DecoArt. So it's just a little too dark, and I don't like the composition. So what I'm doing off to the side is I'm just gonna go for it now. Now I've lost all my inhibitions. I'm gonna take a cup. I'm just gonna haphazardly slap some paint in the cup and just throw it at the canvas with no regard, because, you know, sometimes you overthink things. Maybe I overthought this one. So yeah, I don't even know. See, I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm like hesitantly going to the paint. I just started pouring paint into a Starbucks cup because I don't like to waste a lot of plastic. So I keep my Starbucks cups and I use them for my pour. Don't worry, I wash them out. They don't smell like coffee, but sometimes they do, and that might be a little fib. I don't know. You'll have to see for yourself. Maybe you like the smell of coffee like I do. Anyway, yeah, again, just pouring a bunch of paint in a cup. And I've decided that I am going to do bigger jiggles. Always do bigger jiggles, as Grandma always used to say. And I think I'm skipping out on the blue violet this time because I realized that there's just way too many blues in this painting, and it's not giving me the colors that I really want. The good news is I don't have to use nearly as much paint for this one because the paint underneath is going to work again as a flow extender, and it's going to allow even an even small amount of paint to flow very, very quickly and easily over the canvas. So I'm only, well, I mean, I am wasting paint, but I gotta be happy with the piece because I want to be able to sell these. And if I have to keep going, I'm gonna keep going until I like it. So I think my cup is just about ready. My random cup. Here we are, I'm picking an area and I'm just gonna go for it. Bigger jiggles, ahoy. This truly made one of the weirdest paintings I think I've ever made, but I actually really like the end result. Despite that I still stand by what I said, I still don't think this particular technique is the best on round canvases, but I really do like the end result. I really thought it looked really, really interesting, and this pour, or sorry, the tilt rather, took forever. I almost threw in profanities there, but I saved him this time because we already got the PG-13 rating. I already dropped an F-bomb earlier, so we're going to keep it PG-13 this time. This tilt took a very long time, and so I'm going to speed it up. And don't worry, you'll get the gist of what I'm doing, so enjoy. I want to pop in real quickly and just say that I really like this stage of the painting, and I almost wish that I would have kept it here because it's a little more cohesive, it's a little more symmetrical, but I didn't. I wanted to play with the shape that I got, the very strange shape that I got here. It was starting to take on like almost this sea storm or steps leading up to a cave, and everything is chaotic around it. It also kind of reminded me of a sea monster, which I do a lot with abstract fluid art, is I love to create things that look like sea monsters. And that's kind of where it was going, so I wanted to keep playing with it and keep tilting it, and hopefully that'll show you how much you can stretch the DecoArt. And don't get me wrong, there's a limit to how much you can stretch. You don't want a thin amount of paint on your canvas because it's going to be overstretched, it's going to look really bad. But in terms of comparing this to other paint, even stuff I mix myself, this has a lot of stretching power, and I really like that. I really like that it allows me to play with the tilt and stretch more. So I'm going to be fussing with this for a little while longer, so hang in there. The final product will come, I promise. You might think I'm done here, but you're wrong, because I'm not. I am a tilt demon right now, and for some reason, I wanted that negative space in the corner. I wanted some blue negative space. I really love negative space, and I just could not stop. I could not stop tilting. Don't know if that was for the better or not. I did end up liking the final product, so I suppose it was for the better. But yeah, just a little bit more. In my head, I'm just going, it's a little bit more. Just a little bit more. So this is where it got really wonky. I decided to do a really harsh tilt. I'm almost holding my canvas straight up. I don't think that was for the better, but it did bring this kind of wonky Escher-esque kind of structure to the stairs leading up to the cave, which that's kind of what I'm settling at. It's kind of like a cave being swallowed up by a sea monster in the ocean. That's kind of where I landed on this design. So I don't know if that was for the better. It depends on how weird you like your shapes. I don't know. I like it as weird as you can go. So I don't know. It was a choice. We all make them. It was a choice. So I know at this point that I'm only going to do a few more vanity tilting. This is pretty much the shape it took on. I think the only other thing I do is I wanted the circle more circular. Right now it's looking like an oval, that little entrance to the cave. So I was trying to get it just a little more circular just for my liking. And that was the last thing I did. And I really like this painting. I don't know how everyone else feels about it, but I love the weird, strange shapes that you can get from the jiggle pour. I like the colors a lot better in this one. They're extremely bold, really beautiful. As you can see, I used enough white this time because we've got a lot of contrast. And again, I don't think I'm going to use another round canvas for this technique. I'd probably do a ring pour on it, or just maybe multiple ring pours. But this was fun. It was fun making something really bizarre, really sea-like and monstery. And in the end, I really do like this painting. I love those stairs and I love the colors that you see going down the stairs. It's really, really beautiful. And I like the negative space too. I'm a person that really likes high contrast, really jarring, startling negative space, and that's what I got here. And those pops of red too, yeah, I'm digging it. It looks like a lot of things to me. A weird planet, maybe Jupiter with the storm going over it, but also a sea monster, but also a gate to some kind of cave. So yeah, that is it for this painting. I'm going to let this play out and let you look at the close-up and some pictures of it a little drier. The paint does not create cells. It doesn't dry too differently. The only big thing I've noticed is that some of the darker colors tend to dry even darker, but other than that, it will keep its shape. It'll dry pretty much like this. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for putting up with this painting. I'm sure some of you will enjoy the first one more, but my heart is warm and happy looking at this painting. And again, as always, I will see you in the next one. Bye!